Once more under the peepal tree. Let me chant the mantra and then start. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamaduchyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tatsat. So, we have been doing the Nirvana Shatakam. One session is over. We did 2 slokas last time. All fine? So, last time when we did 2 slokas, the first line of the second sloka was Nacha prana sangyo navai panchavayu. Person who knows Sanskrit and little knowledgeable on this subject told me that it appeared as if when I say Panchavayu, the explanation was of the Panchabhutas instead of the Panchavayu. Bhutas, not Bhutams. Bhutas. So, let me explain one before we go further, that when you say Panchavayu, it means the 5 Vayu, airs, prana, life energy in the system. So, according to the Tantra, Yoga and Sankhya systems, there are 5 Vayus in the human system, the pranas. They are divided and classified according to their functions and which part of the body they operate on. It's one prana but divided into different functions. The source of the prana, according to the Tantra, is the Kundalini itself, which divides the prana into different functions. Now, first is prana itself. The first one of the Panchavayus is called prana. So, it operates between the throat and the diaphragm. It's basically responsible for the pumping of the heart and things associated with that area. Then we have prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana. So, there are different Vayus. Prana is between the throat and the diaphragm. Apana, it's between the navel and the lower part of the body, perineum. That's its main area of functioning. So, it deals with elimination of waste and so on, including what we eliminate physically when the food is eaten and then it's eliminated. All this. Sometimes you can sense the elimination, which is apana, if you eat too many gas producing foods. There's only where you can really experience it. I mean, experience it through your nasal sensory organ and also sound, ear. So, otherwise generally you can't make out where it's working. Then there is udana. Now, udana is between the throat and the face. Sorry, there is samana. Samana takes care of the digestion, digestive apparatus. That includes pancreas, liver, the whole thing. Now, allopaths won't understand what we are talking about. But these are the words. It's clear that when you are having indigestion and when your Vayu is not functioning the proper, there is disorder, that there is no question. Okay. Then, so samana is digestion, digestive apparatus, liver, everything. Then udana. Udana operates between the throat, this face and the head. So, you must understand that pranayam, the science of pranayam, is connected with operating these different pranas. Sometimes you do the prana with the upper part of your lungs, then it's here, then lower is here, and so on. Then of course there is vyana. Did we do udana? Yes. Then we have vyana. Vyana is kind of generally the metabolism of the whole system, and primarily takes care of circulation of blood. So This is the Vyana. So these are the Panchavayus. Right. So Shankara says in the Nirvana Shataka, Nacha prana sankhyo navai panchavayu. I am neither the prana nor the vayu. Nava sapta dhatur nava pancha kosha. We described everything, we discussed everything clearly. So we won't go into it, otherwise we'll get stuck. And the third. Now here physical things were described mostly and those which affect the body. Now here are things which are more psychological in nature. In the third sloka, Name dvesha rago, Name lobha moho, Name vai mado naiva matsarya bhava, Na dharmo na artho, na kamo na moksha, chidananda rupa shivoham. Which means, in my true essence, as pure consciousness and bliss, my true essence, your true essence, everybody's true essence, there is no like, there is no dislike, there is no greed, and the delusion caused by greed. Delusion is usually caused by greed. I want something, and then I am deluded into thinking that that is the most important thing. Then I work towards it. In the end, I am deluded because I find that what I worked for all these years makes no sense. And because of greed, the mind also creates objects, creates pictures of delusion. It comes with greed, it starts with greed. I see something, I am greedy for it. Need not necessarily be food, could be greedy in any way, any organ. And then I build pictures about it. Actually, greed and delusion are the two things on which our entire social media is based. Completely, totally. It's the essence and the beginning of all greed and delusion. And what it does is to encourage, not discourage, encourage. So you understood what it means. It means making pictures, making exaggerations. Poetry is exaggeration. Especially Urdu poetry is most exaggerated. Go to somebody's house, he will say, you stay in my Garib Khana, it will be a huge palace. So you see how the exaggerations are created. So also there is no like or dislike in me. Look, if I am all pervading and if I am the form of bliss and consciousness, what like and dislike? So if you are centered in that, you actually have no like and dislike. But when you perform in this world, you might have to put up a pretense of liking, disliking, because nobody can understand if you function this way. If you say that, oh, this person I don't like, you say, I am doing everything, why doesn't he like me? Or she, whatever, whoever. Or dislike, what is the reason for dislike? No one can do anything bad to you anyway, because in essence you are the reality of consciousness and bliss. So why dislike? There is no dislike. This like and dislike is a practical way of living in this world. Otherwise you will be completely submerged by influences of the world. Otherwise there is no need for it. So says Shankara, Name dvesha ragau. I have no dvesha and no raga, no lobha and no moha. Name vai madho. I don't have pride. Naiva matsarya bhava. I have no competition. Matsarya means competition, jealousy. You know how it is. When we get rid of everything, there are two things that stay with us. You got rid of everything. There no like, no dislike, no kama, no more. You come and then suddenly you see the last obstacle is pride. Pride starts from pride of birth, pride of learning, pride of position. Several layers are there for this pride, and it comes invisibly. You cannot even see it coming, but it is reflected in one's life, in one's bearing, in one's movement, in one's talk. So, that is pride. I am so and so. There is also the pride of learning. Oh, I have touched the Supreme. But therefore, what it means is, if you have actually touched the Supreme, then there cannot be pride. If you have pride, then you are not. Let's put it the other way around also. What is there to be proud about? Let's say I am of the form of Chit and Ananda, Chidananda Rupa. I cannot exclusively be the only being with Chidananda Rupa. Everybody must be having that. So what is this I am proud of? That I found it? Well, it can't be found. So, what is it? How can you find that which cannot be understood by the senses, by the mind? Tatra chakshur gacchati, vak gacchati, mana. Then what is my function? So, I know not pride nor jealousy. Now, jealousy is a very funny thing, because actually you are unhappy when somebody else is happy. There is nothing, they are not taking away your shirt, but they are happy. I am unhappy. Why? It may be because I am thinking why I am not happy and the other person is happy. And it is one of the pride and jealousy are the last things that have to be removed from the mind if one has to be free, has to go into Nirvana. Well, you can pretend to be proud and all for society purposes. That's a different matter. But deep down, when you go to sleep, you must know I am nothing. I am also going to sleep like anybody else. When you sleep in Sushupti, deep sleep, the boss and the servant both are sleeping. It is the same sleep. And then we wake up and then everything. He may be sleeping on the ground, which he enjoys. I am sleeping on my bed, I enjoy. Both of us are in Sushupti. There is no difference there in that state. And Turiya, or the state of Chidananda Rupa, is just above that. There is no difference at all. It's only in the waking state and the dream state that the differences come, not in the other two. Jagriti, Jagrata Avastha and Swapna Avastha, then there is difference. So ultimately there is, so what is that I am proud of? Family. I was born in such a. The opposite side is somebody is not born in such a. What happens to that person? So, this pride and jealousy have to disappear. I will give you an example. We have time. We don't mind finishing it in 2 days, and then the singing is already recorded and ready. So, after that session is over, then the singing session will come. It's ready. That is the first thing we did actually. So, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, give you an example. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, in the early days, before Narendra Datta and all these people arrived and all that, one day, Ramakrishna had a nephew called Hriday. This Hriday guy was imitating his master in all ways. Not, he didn't have the stature to do, but he used to imitate him in all ways. So he even went once, he had seen his uncle going into the grove, sacred grove, not Chaudapari, a sacred grove, and sitting in between the trees which they had planted there with a skull under the earth and so on. Ramakrishna had planted it for tantric practice. So one night he went there. He has seen his uncle do that. So he went there. He took off his clothes, became naked, took off his sacred thread and put it there, sat down and started doing something happened, started screaming loudly because he thought somebody is attacking him. Ramakrishna came and rescued him and told him, man, why are you doing these things? You are not ready for all this. Just shut up and okay. One day he did something which is allowed in the tantric tradition, but which everybody cannot do, which is called a Kanya Puja. A small girl of 7 or 8 is worshipped as the Devi. So, the whole of Dakshineshwar was owned by Rani Rasmani, who was of course a fisherwoman from a fisherwoman community, and she owned Dakshineshwar, the whole of Dakshineshwar. In fact, she had the contract for fishing in the Hooghly River, and in fact, when the British asked for a permit, she put metal nets on both sides and blocked for ships from coming in. She was a powerful lady. So, Rani Rasmani was the owner of the temple. After she passed away, her son-in-law, Mathur Babu, took over the whole thing. Now, Mathur Babu was the only man who used to actually call Ramakrishna Baba. He was very close to, he used to look after him, very close. So, one day, Hriday saw Mathur Babu's 8-year-old daughter in the Dakshineshwar campus. Immediately, he went and got all the things and did Kanya Puja. Mathur Babu was infuriated. The Pandits went and told him, what is going to happen to you? You are a fisherman community. A Brahmin has worshipped your daughter. Misfortune is going to come on you. Do something about it. So Mathur Babu got worried and angry and agitated, and he said, ask all the Brahmins to get out of here. Means everybody, pujaris, and his bungalow, if you see, if you go to Dakshineshwar, still it's there. It's in the middle, before the temple, outside. Standing on the terrace and looking. So Hriday was going off, said all the Brahmins get out. So Hriday was also packing up. So Thakur asked him, Hriday, where are you going? Why are you packing? He said, Mathur Babu said, all the Brahmins, get out from here. We don't want anybody. Oh, really? He said that, yeah. He said, okay. He went, took his meditation mat, put it under his armpit, took a little bag in which he used to carry spices, clove and all to chew. So he took that and he said, chalo, let's go. Chalo. And Mathur Babu was standing in the balcony and watching. He saw Ramakrishna also going with his mat and everything. He came running. He said, Baba, what happened? Why are you going? He said, I heard you said all the Brahmins get out. I'm also going away. So he fell at his feet. He said, I didn't ask you to go. I said, it's a different context. He explained to him, this is what happened. So I told, I didn't ask you to. Oh, you didn't ask me, is it? No, you didn't ask. Okay, then I'm going back. You see, there are two parts to this. One is, some people may go away because this has heard. You would think that they have no pride, they are going away. But if someone comes and says, oh, please don't go, they'll say, oh, you told me, what do you think? Nothing. Oh, you didn't? No, didn't. Okay, I'm going back. See this? It's not easy. So many problems are avoided in this world also, if that thing is kept unchecked. I went to a function, nobody minded me. Wonderful, you can eat and go back home. But no. So, if you have touched the essence, and if you know that you are actually of the form of consciousness and bliss, Shivoham, Shivoham, I'm Shivam, I'm Shivam. I explained in the beginning, Shivam here means not somebody with a form, like, this is the yogi's symbol actually, but in true essence, this lady comes from Chidambaram. There is nothing there actually. Well, for ceremonial purposes they put various things. It's Chidambaram, clad in consciousness. So where can Digambara, clad in the 4 directions. 4 directions are not material. Chidambaram. So So I have no Matsarya Bhava. Matsarya could mean pride, jealousy, it could also mean competition. I have no competition. Somebody is doing so much social media, so I should all, not required. You do what you are doing and finish with it. In fact, from childhood we are taught this competition. Exams are called competitive exams. With that, what happens? Actually, instead of becoming excellent in what you are doing, you try to compete with the other, and half your energy is wasted on that. So, na dharmo, na cha artho, na kamo, na moksha. Therefore, having established in that form of blissful consciousness, of Shivam, which is auspiciousness, therefore I have no duty to perform. What duty do I have? If I am identified with father, mother, son, wife, I have duties to perform. Boss, worker, I am not identified with anything, then what duty do I have? Nothing. I am not saying don't do your duties, please. Do your duties, but keep in mind that you are doing it because you are part of a setup in the world. In true sense, you really have no duty to do. If you have reached that, till then there is one duty, to reach that. To understand that, that is the primary duty, there is no other duty. So I have no duty. Now if I am part of that which is all pervading, Chidananda, Shivam, which the Ishavasya Upanishad calls Ishavashyamidam Sarvam, that which pervades everything here. Ma agrida kasya svidhanam, then whose wealth is all this? Wealth belongs to everybody. Marx tried, it didn't work. Wealth belongs to everybody. Everything that you see belongs to that supreme reality because it is all pervading. That flower is that, this leaf is that, this earth is that, this asana I am sitting is that, everything is that. So what more shall I desire? What wealth shall I ask for? Look, because I see in this world, not I, you also see, a person has immense wealth, physically lots of wealth. Happiness, maybe you can have a softer cot, but you also need to only sleep in a cot. Maybe you will travel in a better car. Ultimately, does it make any sense? That can also have an accident. So, it makes no sense for a person established in that consciousness that he has any real desire for wealth. He may think that if something is there, I can give it to somebody else. In the physical world, if you go and tell a poor man, don't desire for wealth, if you have, you give. Because you don't get attached. This is what it means. It's not how much you possess and how much you don't possess. There are rich and poor people who are unhappy. Because happiness is not a quotient of how wealthy you are. It's not the quotient to decide your happiness. It's internal. It's an understanding of your true self, which is happiness. So when that is there, there is no desire for anything else. That's what it means. And lust is the word used for kama. Now kama or lusts need not necessarily mean only sexual. It could mean any desire which becomes very strong becomes lust. Now if I am free of that, and if I am established in the inner self, which is all pervading and which is blissful and which one hasn't to do anything to acquire, because that is my true nature. What do I do to I'm my true nature? Then I don't have a lust, which normally what we call lust does not exist. And if I am already free, if I am the form of bliss and consciousness, what moksha do I ask for? I am already free. So there is no desire for liberation, not to be imitated. Many people think after 6 months of sadhana we are already free. So why should I meditate? Oh, no desire for it. It's not like that. Truly, if one is established in the understanding that one is of the form of consciousness and bliss, of pure consciousness and bliss, then that I am the eternal Shivam, then where is the question of karma? Where is the question of liberation? It's already liberated. Even the very thought, when you sit down under a peepal tree or any other tree, jackfruit tree, coconut tree, watch out, coconut tree, if you simply sit quietly and even this thought goes through our mind, temporarily at least you will feel relieved. Otherwise we are always trying to catch, you are now releasing. Then, na punyam, na papam, na saukhyam, na dukkham, na mantro, na tirtham, na veda, na yajnaha. Shankara, coming from an orthodox family who is completely into mantras, he also did his pilgrimage. He knew all the scriptures, all the rituals. But if I have this feeling and understanding deep down that I am of the nature of true consciousness, it is touched. When that is touched, there is no virtue and there is no vice. See, this virtue and vice are usually very relative. What may be virtue in this country may not be virtue somewhere else. What may be vice here may not be a vice there. Plus, I think the only virtue that is universal is kindness. The only vice which is universal is hatred. Love and affection are universally. Everything else is not. Like in some religions, in the West for instance, to drink wine is considered a wonderful thing. It's a ritual. It's a religious act, but not in some other quarters. In some places it is considered to be so terrible that if you touch it, then finished. You will be burnt in hell. All your heels are gone when you go there. When you go there, we don't know, but so these are all relative things. Virtue, vice. I am not virtue, I am not vice. No pleasure or pain. Pleasure or pain again are very relative concepts. There are people who enjoy pain also. They are called the martyrs. There are people who hate pleasure because they think it's unsaintly to be enjoying any pleasure. They torture themselves, thinking that this is the way to freedom. But when you are already of the essence of consciousness, why are you torturing yourself? For what? So, pleasure and pain are the opposite sides of a coin. When there is pleasure, please keep in mind that around the corner there is some pain lurking. And if you are always in pain, surely there is something coming up which is good for you. That's why many people suffer pain, cause pain for themselves so that they feel that at the end of the rainbow there is this wonderful happiness coming. And there are people who enjoy, I know, a retired general sitting at home in the evening with a single malt or whatever he drinks. Right? And then, what is the song going on? Jab dil hi toot gaya. Saigal is singing. What is he enjoying? Pain. Sorrow. So, these are such relative concepts, this pain and sorrow. So, for me, if I am established in the eternal Shivam, the form, then there is no pleasure or there is no pain. Because what that bliss is not pleasure, it's something beyond. It doesn't have a reason, it doesn't have a cause, it's by itself spontaneous. And if I have understood that, then I need no mantras. Till then I might. I need no pilgrimages. Where will I go? Which pilgrimage will I do? They say that Guru Nanak went to Makkah and he fell asleep somewhere with his leg towards Kaaba. Somebody asked him, came and said, lift your legs, put it there. Of course, people were more understanding then. They didn't cut off his legs. They said, please put your... So, he said, I'll do that. I'll keep my legs this side. But can you tell me, is there any place where God does not exist? Then what to do? How can I stretch my leg at all? Any place where He is not there? And he quoted the Quran, which says, wherever thou turnest thy face, there I am. So where do I turn my legs? So, I have no mantras. The only mantra is Shivoham, Shivoham, Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham. No tirtha for me. The greatest tirtha is what Ganesha did, go around Shiva. Na Veda, na Yajna. What Yajna shall I perform? In fact, in the Gita, there's a beautiful shloka which describes the Yajna. Yajna is performed by offerings and all that, no, by the priest. So the mantra is Brahma Arpanam, Brahma Havir, Brahma Agno, Brahmana Hutam, Brahma Ivatena Gandhavyam, Brahma Karma Samadhina, which means everything is that supreme reality. The offerer, the offering, the dhwai, the fire, everything, even the act of offering is the Brahman. So what shall I do? What yajna shall I do? In any case, yajna means feeding the flame and burning all your differences and pride and jealousy. Viraja, in the Viraja Homa, when somebody becomes a sannyasin, in those days it is so important to have a thread for someone, breaks it and puts it into the fire. This is Viraja Homa. So, what yajna do I need if my ego has already been slain and finished? What yajna? For what? Veda? Since I know the Paravidya, what shall I do with the rest of the Vedas? That's what it means. You know the famous example of the Mundaka Upanishad, where the student asks the teacher about knowledge. The teacher says, there are two kinds of knowledge, Paravidya and Aparavidya. So he says, so first tell me what is Aparavidya so that I'll understand what is Paravidya. It's an interesting list. It begins like this. Upanishad, Shruti, Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Aparavidya. Does it mean you shouldn't study it? No. That's not what it means. Why? Because the next one says Paravidya. So what is Paravidya? Says the disciple, shocked. He says, that by which you understand the truth. And Satyam is understood, that is the true Vidya, Para-Vidya. So which means, even if you know all this, if it doesn't lead you to the truth, it is still Apara-Vidya. That's what it means. So for Shankara to say that I have no mantra, no tirtha, no Veda, no yajna, saying it from the highest point of view, because he has gone through all this, he knows, but he knows that ultimately that is what is required. That's why there have been cases of people who know nothing about these things and have attained. Aham bhojanam naiva bhojyam na bhokta. Bhojanam doesn't mean food, okay? Aham bhojanam naiva bhojyam na bhokta. I am not neither the experienced nor the experience itself. Which means, if I have to experience something, then that experience is outside me and I am trying to absorb it and experience it in myself. This is experience. Now suppose the experience is only in me and there is no need of any external appendages or connections to enjoy this. Enjoyment is my birthright, it's my bliss, it's my inner being, it's my nature. Then how do I enjoy an outside object? There is nothing for me to enjoy from outside. Even the process of enjoyment doesn't exist for me, because I am enjoyment. I mean, not enjoyment, bliss, let's put it in another word. Satchidananda. Sat, Chit and Ananda. That is my true state. And if I have discovered it, what would I enjoy? Even if I enjoy something, I will see only that enjoyment in it. Somebody makes a good cup of coffee and I am enjoying it. Yeah. But then suddenly it strikes me that this enjoyment is not the coffee, it's in me. Is it in the cup or is it in me? I can make coffee and keep it there. Who will enjoy it? Ants or something else. When I enjoy it, that means the enjoyment in me is being triggered because of previous experience of having drunk the coffee. So when the enjoyment is not dependent on that, I can still enjoy the coffee, but understanding that, hey, it's inside, it's not outside. But not dependent on it. See the difference? Not dependent on it. Tomorrow if I don't get that coffee, that means not that I won't go to Navin's house. So, but I see Aggi coming at 10:30. If she doesn't bring tea also, I'll be happy. But she brings, I enjoy it. Incidentally, the coronavirus is also enjoying. I think it's tired now. It should be on its way out. It's fed up, frustrated. Not enough can be done. So, na punyam, na papam, na saukhyam, na dukkham, na mantro, na tirtham, na veda, na yajna, aham bhojanam naiva bhojyam na bhokta, chidananda rupa shivoham shivoham. Now we have 5 and 6. So, should we do it now or should we do it tomorrow in the next one? It will be nice and sweet, half an hour, 2 slokas. Good for podcast. Okay, anyway, I'll read the 5th sloka. Name mrityu shankha, name jati bheda, pita naiva me naiva, mata na janma, na bandhur na mitram, guru naiva shishya. Even that, quite a liberating experience. Not for the shishya, for the guru. Guru naiva shishya. Chidananda rupa shivoham. At least you can be free. So, I think we should stop here and have these two in the next session. I don't think we can do in half an hour, because the next one is, the sixth one is Aham Nirvikalpo Nirakara Rupo Vibhutvacha Sarvatra Sarvendriyanam Nacha Sangatham Naiva Muktir Nameya Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. I have no duality. I am formless. I am everywhere. Idam sarvam. Vashyam idam sarvam. And this is a very interesting thing. Sarvendriyanam. Normally we say stay away from the indriyas, from the senses. It says sarvendriyanam. I'll go carefully into this in the next session. So, once more before we close. Mano buddhi ahankara chittani naham nacha shrotra jihve nacha grana netre nacha vyoma bhumir na tejo na vayu chidananda rupa shivoham shivoham nacha prana sanghyo nava pancha vayu nava sapta dhatur nava pancha kosha navakpani padam na chopastapayu chidananda rupa shivoham shivoham. न मे द्वेषरागो न मे लोभमोहो न मे वै मदो नैव मात्सर्यभावः न धर्मो न च आर्थो न कामो न मोक्षः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम्। न पुण्यं न पापं न सौख्यं न दुःखं न मन्त्रो न तीर्थं न वेदा न यज्ञः अहं भोजनं नैव भोज्यं न भोक्ता चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम्। न मे मृत्युशङ्का न मे जातिभेदा पिता नैव मे नैव माता न जन्म न बन्धुर्न मित्रं गुरुर्नैव शिष्यः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम्। अहं निर्विकल्पो निराकाररूपो विभूत्वच्च सर्वत्र सर्वेन्द्रियाणां न च संगतं नैव मुक्तिर्न मेयः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम्। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम तत्सत्। Thank you.